Hello, Possum community. The most smartest, the most friendly, the most knowledgeable, and might I say, the most beautiful group of fantasy football. Just awesome people in the world. The Possum community is the best thing in the world. I got there, Billy. Just bear with me. We are Offensive Points, and we are brought
Hold
to
my
you
breath.
live by the IDP Plus Network. Today, Josh, Billy, and I are going to be covering the winners and losers from the 2025 NFL Draft. The draft has come, the draft has gone, and I mean, as a Bears fan, I love it, but I'm interested to see your guys' reactions. Seth Rollins is my hero. I'm going to start watching WWE in the future. Suck it, Green Bay. Suck it.
Did we do
Love
this
that.
last year? Like, I feel like this is like a play for play of what happened last year when we were like the collective we, the non-collective we, the Joe, was like, man, the Bears just killed the draft, and it's we'll get there. We'll get there.
It's possible to do
honest-
it twice in a row. You should know it from Howie Roseman. I mean,
It's more than twice,
Sure.
dude. I don't know what number we're on now, but it's
I'd
like
say he
9
did
or
it
10.
again. Did it again this year. Honestly, though, I think we all kind of knew, though, that the Bears were kind of built on a house of cards last season because we knew how bad that O-line was. And we're like, well, I mean, they got a lot of weapons, right? Like, that's going to work itself out. And it didn't. It did not work itself out, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I think what they did was the right move, is going and building that in free agency first, and then coming and getting some more pieces. And are we just jumping right into the Bears? I feel like we're here already.
We'll get there. We'll get there. I need to do
Billy's
two more
got
things
shots to pay.
before we start. I do. All right. Rugaroo says, "Shuck it, shuck you. What's good, boys?" Well, you've got the shuckster on your hands down there in New Orleans. That was one of the crazier things.
I hate that he's going to be live for this.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little rough, but you know what? You're not gonna have to wait like Shadur Sanders for our takes, because we're gonna get them out here in a second. All right. Well, speaking of Shadur Sanders, I said that if he does not go in the first round of the NFL draft, I'm gonna take a fireball shot. I did not do it during the actual draft podcast, so I'm doing my Pensacola Beach shot glass fireball. Shadur, I'm shocked. Can't say it. We'll probably get to it here in a little bit, but shots for shots, I guess.
drink up, Billy.
As to those, I remember we had one on the Eagles, whether we would draft offensive, defensive. Did I win that one? Did you go defense or did I go defense?
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I did not write it down.
I'm pretty sure I was off. I think I owe one. I'm just trying to be polite. I don't have anything, but
I mean, you paid up your Giants one.
Yeah, but I didn't pay up for the Eagles. I'm pretty sure I said
we made a wildly unfortunate bet after Tet McMillan got announced that says that you think that Tet McMillan will have more touchdowns than Jalen McMillan.
I still stand
very unfortunate to be on the Jalen McMillan side of that bet after pick 18, but whatever. You know,
you can pay up now or later. Joe just wants to drink
strong.
I actually did a shot because this pollen in St. Louis, Missouri is kicking my ass right now.
It's medicinal. Got it. It's all medicinal. We're good here.
Rugaroo says I'm warming up to it. Rue, just know that they're definitely banking on the tanking year this year, and you can appreciate that. I mean, what else we gonna do? You know,
get that number one thing. One thing about New Orleans is them grabbing Kelvin Banks. Is that them saying, Archie, come on, next year? I mean, should be drafted next year, right?
Yeah,
he can be. I think there's no way in hell that he's going to be ready for a draft and taken. We have plenty of time to talk to that. I have so many takes about how people are freaking out about this quarterback class next year, and I'm like, yeah, it's just a bunch of dudes though. Like, there's not like any good prospects coming out. The next 2027 draft, now that is a quarterback draft, so we'll get there.
Stock up on picks in 2027.
Speaking of a bunch of dudes, go now to the fantasyfootballexpo.com and buy your tickets to come and join us in Canton with the best fantasy football community on the planet. You get to go to the Hall of Fame. I mean, guys, we've all been in the office building where like there's that one guy that, you know, is the know-it-all about football, and then everyone else kind of plays in their cousins' leagues and stuff. You don't really have anyone to talk about because that guy's just a blowhard. He's going to talk the whole time. And we know you're a possum, and we know you know everything there is to know about fantasy football. Well, come on down to Canton on August, one of those dates, 8th through the 10th, where Josh will buy you 17 beers from his personal bank account.
That's not it. That's not it, dude.
It'll be
keep
great.
messing that up. You did say a bunch of dudes. There are some ladies there, but in reality, it's a bunch of dudes and other people just talking about fantasy football. And that's, I think, my favorite part of, I'm just going to keep adding to what my favorite part of the expo is. And it's just talking about fantasy football. And like, just, usually my wife's like, dude, will you just shut up? Like, I don't know who Egbuka is. Like, I don't want to talk about it. Can we do the finances, please? I'm like, nah, this is my finances.
He is our finances. Okay. You just wait till I win the league. Honestly, I mean, it's really cool. Like the Queen's Classic drafts, we draft in the same room as the Queen's Classic for the King's Classic Buckets thing. And it's really cool. There's a bunch of people that come in and watch them draft, not so much us, because our draft's just 5 hours of very tedious work. But they get quite a showing, and there are more and more females getting into the fantasy football thing. So it's great. So even if you're a female, go to Canton. We would love to have you there. And then go to Fast Draft while you're at it and use promo code +OP for 100% deposit match up to $50. They have rookie drafts, they have IDP drafts, and it's a really quick clock. I just got on, I did an Origins draft today, which is the rookies, and I'm excited to see how the team turns out. And then go to IDP Plus, where we are offering 50% off of any subscription using IDP 2025. When the casuals get back into fantasy football, we're going to jack the rates right back up. So be the first to get there and get your discount now.
Fantasy football never ends. That's the thing. Like, we're going to go all summer talking about random fantasy football-esque information. And, it never ends for us. This is a prime time for some of us. Rookie drafts, we've already completed a whole one, and we're almost done with our second one, guys. Like, the draft isn't even a week old. We're already that far in.
I always love just like the raw reactions from people about players. Like they're like, I'm grabbing this guy, and it's probably way too early. But honestly, nobody knows. Like, I mean, the experts don't know. Nobody knows. You can go off fit, you can go off previous talent, but at the end of the day, man, just go with your heart, dude. Like, I mean, you can look at rankings as like as a placeholder for like, oh, well, maybe I can get him next round. He's still 20 picks down the board. No big deal. But like, if you really want someone, go and draft someone. We preach that all draft season. Like. Redraft,
I mean,
Dynasty,
if a certain coach in Denver says that Pat Bryant is the new Michael Thomas, I mean, you can fall for that too. I mean, sure. I mean, if he's going to say it, I guess.
So is he going to play really good for like 3 or 4 years and then fall off of the face of the earth?
Pretty much, yeah. He's going to have a few historic all-time seasons, and then he's just going to have some medical mystery go on with his body and never be heard from again.
I do like Pat Bryant's game. I watched him a little bit going into the draft, but, after seeing the fit and everything, they could totally trade Cortland Sutton, and I don't think there'd be that much of a drop-off for the game that he plays there.
There's a lot of rumors of Sutton being traded in the offseason, and I'm curious if that still stands. And, there's a team that we probably are going to get to, the Cowboys, who still need a wide receiver too, and Sutton would be a phenomenal one.
Well, we'll get there. I have plenty to say about that.
Real quick. Since we've done a couple of rookie drafts now, what are some values that you guys are loving here in the mid rounds?
Do you want the like hardcore ones or like the goofy other draft that we're in where the values are all the way off?
I did like getting Jarquez Hunter in the 5th round. That was pretty nice. But let's go with the hardcore one.
I got freaking Jalen Knoll at the end of the 4th round. And I was like, what are we doing? That guy was in the 3rd round of the draft. It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, there's a couple guys that we're going to talk about in our winners and losers. Let's just get to the winners and losers. How about that? Because a couple of the guys I'm going to talk about are going to be in there. Unless you guys have some guys that you did not plan on talking about tonight.
I wouldn't mind talking about someone, the Taj Brooks kid. I feel like that's an absolute steal. I know it wasn't a high round pick or whatever, but even if Chase Brown is the dude, he still needs to be relieved at some point. And Zach Moss, while he was fine pre-injury, we don't really know how well Cincinnati enjoys that. And I ended up getting Taj in like the 4th in our first rookie draft. And then of course Davis stole him from me in the 2nd one. But yeah, there's something about a guy who is a late round guy who nobody's really paying attention to. It might be nothing, like, you know what I mean? But like, I'll waste a 4th round pick on a RB2 any day. So we'll see what happens there. But I with the camp and everything. But for now, to me, it's a steal. I don't see a clear cut. Like Chase Brown is good, but not great. And then you got Zach Moss, who I don't know what we have there still. So he had his flashes and didn't do it in Cincy. So curious.
I do like Zach Moss as a buy low right now. I mean, be completely honest.
I like getting both of them, getting one in a draft or getting them for trade.
Yeah, I mean, Moss is out there on some waivers, and he should not be. He should at least be rostered. So if you need some running back help, try it out. But I love the Taj Brooks pick, Josh. And then Ollie Gordon is mine. I'm completely in on it. They shipped Mostert out of there. They got Madison in to replace him. Jalen Wright is an absolute stud. We firmly believe that on OP. But Ollie Gordon's 2023 was not a fluke. He's a very talented runner. And I think that he is going to kind of fit right into that Mostert role really effing well. So probably going to eat into at least Wright. We know that he's going to take away from him. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see him kind of be a 1B to A-chain.
All right, I'll say one that I was not planning on talking about tonight, but since Ruger is here, we got to mention it. Tyler Shuck went in the 6th round of our draft. He's going to get a crack at starting for the Saints. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to be good. I still think that Spencer Rattler is the best player or best quarterback on that team right now. However, if even Spencer Rattler starts playing a little good, I think they're throwing Shuck in there so to make sure that they can tank out this season and have the number 1 pick. So you're going to get, I think, some really good play to see what he's got. He may end up being really good. That would be shocking to me. But if he is, you've got him basically for free. And that's going to be a starting quarterback next year, whereas in most drafts, Cam Ward was the starter, and then you really didn't get any other starters. We'll see how the Brown situation shakes out. But literally, Tyler Shuck is the only other one that can actually get some playing time this year that you can throw in there.
Will Howard.
That's not bad value. He could, depending on we think it's going to be Aaron Rodgers, but if it's not Aaron Rodgers, it might be Will Howard. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Shuck is an interesting value there because nobody's taking him, and he's going to start probably at some point this season.
All right, well let's jump right in. I want to talk about.
I'm ready. Winners. Do we want to do winners or losers? Yeah, we can do it. We can do winners.
Let's start happy and go negative at the end.
Okay. Well, I'll start. Nope, I'm starting. Nope, I'm starting.
Billy's starting. He called it. Dibs.
I did. All right, big winner here. We'll just get right off. We'll just rip the Band-Aid off. Big winner here, DeAndre Swift. I was sold that they were going to take a running back in maybe not the 1st round. I was not sold on the not Quinshawn Judkins, but the Jeanty thing for them. But I did think 2nd round, 3rd round, they're going to snag somebody to be on this team and potentially take away snaps from DeAndre Swift. Well, they didn't. They didn't do that really at all. They took Kyle. I forgot. I don't even know how to say his last name in the 6th round. Yeah, but I'm not really scared of him. I didn't really love him coming out of Rutgers. He seems more like a depth guy, and he's definitely not going to be better than Roschon Johnson is on the team that they have currently. So my first big winner is DeAndre Swift because there's nobody else on that team that's going to be running the ball other than maybe Roschon Johnson, but it's going to be a pretty heavy DeAndre Swift workload. At least it looks like it coming out.
Yeah, no, definitely something I was a little worried about as someone who's got some stock in DeAndre Swift still. Kind of just assumed. You got a guy coming from the Lions who literally did this with the last time and got a new running back in there. So kind of shocking to see, but I do love it for Swift because once again, I said this many times, Swift wasn't the problem there. The offensive line was the passing, everything else was the problem. Swift sneakily ran for 900 yards last year with no help whatsoever. So I'm excited to see, and honestly, Roschon as well, kind of a winner here because still gets a crack at being a potential or a running back. So looking forward to seeing what Roschon can bring to the table here, or Mana guy. Honestly, who knows if that guy's going to end up being anything? So
there is some smoke about Nick Chubb signing with the Bears. So we'll see if that happens, but I do love Swift in the meantime. And if Chubb does not sign, Josh, I think you're absolutely right about Roschon too. I think that line was so much more of a problem than people even realize. I mean, Kaleb had 68 sacks last year, but you got to give the running back some credit too that they were able to do that behind that shitty of a line. So going from Swiss cheese to a slight improvement is a good thing. I'm a big fan of
that. Joe, do you just want to go ahead and talk more about the Bears? Because I feel like a winner, at least at some point, is some sort of Bear.
Well, there is a bear that's going to win, but I'm going to give us a break on the Bears for a second.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to go with an unpopular opinion for winners in this draft, and I think you guys are actually going to disagree with me, which I think the analysts do as well. But I think the Dallas Cowboys were winners in this draft. Every single one of their first 3 picks, at the very least, were all absolute steals. Tyler Booker, maybe a little early, but at the time we thought it was really stupid, and we're like, oh wow, really reached for that. Could have traded down. But 3 guards got drafted in the first round, so they might have known something. I say. Maybe I'm giving Jerry Jones a little bit too much credit here, but there were 3 guards drafted, and that it was a big need for them. So they got Tyler Booker, who, in my opinion, was the best guard in the draft. Then they go get Donovan Easy, which is a steal and should have been a first-round pick. End up getting him in the second, and then Siobhan Revel in the third, which should have been a second-round pick. So those 3 alone were amazing. Well, I'm out there on the Jaden Blue. I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm very interested in him in Dynasty. Did not get him in the first 2 drafts, which is really sad, but I think everyone's a little bit hyped about this, but it's going to be a crowded backfield to start anyway. Like, this is more for a future pick. And then, honestly, they always draft good linebackers. So Shamar James from Florida might be decent as well. I'm not 100% sure. And they always seem to rotate in a new linebacker. And then, honestly, I'm not too familiar with the end of their draft, but really going out there with those first 3 picks were amazing. Yes, they still need a wide receiver too. I feel like they're going to figure it out before the season. Hopefully they do, but in the draft itself, I feel like they were winners there. They addressed every need except for the wide receiver position, which, once again, those top 3 picks were amazing. So not really a wide receiver class loaded draft either. So
yeah, I mean, I think they did what they had to do. I mean, they really have to do a wide receiver, or I guess Jalen Tolbert's going to have some real value going into this year. But yeah, I mean, I think that they did a really good job getting that defense shored up, and you have to do something on that line for the future because it's aging a little bit. So I think they did.
Yeah, I think they have like 4 Tylers on their offensive line now or something like that.
Tyler.
Yeah, lots of Tylers. Let's just go over this, what we got left over in free agency for wide receivers, because I don't know if there is anything. It's looking pretty rough.
Keenan Allen.
Yeah. Keenan Allen.
Neither of them I would want.
Johnson's gone. Is Mark Cooper still out there?
Yeah.
Robert Woods. Yeah, it drops off a cliff there. So yeah, it's Keenan Allen. It's pretty much Keenan Allen. Or a trade, which there was rumors about Sutton. And honestly, I don't know exactly what will happen in Tampa Bay, but Mike Evans is going nowhere, and Godwin is signed, obviously, for a long-term deal. And now they got Egbuka. Jalen McMillan might be on the board. I mean, that might be a possibility for a trade. I mean, they clearly have 3 now, but they also, maybe are just planning for the future in general. So, I don't know. Just kind of, I hated seeing every pick that the Cowboys did, and I was just like, they're kind of killing it. And then, yeah, they didn't get a wide receiver, which was weird. Like, at least add a day 3 guy, but can't be perfect.
I'm gonna keep my opinions to myself because I had them as a staunch loser of the draft, but we will get to that, I guess.
Because they didn't get one position.
No, because their team's not better than it was before the draft. And if you're drafting just based on whatever your old man GM thinks is going to help this team, it's not going to get any better. So
I figured both of you guys would disagree with me, but I personally, I do think Easy is going to be a really good counterpart.
I mean, good for them. They're probably going to have a top 5 pick this year, so that's going to be good for them. But other than that, like I don't really see what they did to help the team. I mean, maybe Tyler Booker is a Hall of Famer, but getting a Hall of Fame guard at number 12 when there's a lot of more stuff on the board is kind of sad, but
I think they had their heart set on Tet, personally. I think everyone had that Tet fall, and I think they
trade up and get him. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, trade up and get him. If that's what you want and that's what's going to make your team better, don't just settle for the guard that you could have gotten at 20. Like, nobody was going to take Booker before that. Anyway, they're a loser for me, and especially for fantasy. That whole thing, I mean, they didn't help any of the positions there. They got 2 running backs.
CeeDee Lamb.
Well, I mean, he stays about the same. I mean, it's exactly what he did last year, and he's going to have to sit out the end of the season again because they're going to be bad.
Hopefully.
I mean, that's good, but yeah, he's going to have to sit at the end of the season. And yeah, no, it sucks to be a Cowboys fan right now. I feel bad for you all.
I'm happy that the Cowboys are bad.
I mean, yeah, it's good for Philly fans and Washington fans for sure. Giants got better too. So, I mean, Giants probably better than them now as well, which is a rough spot to be in. But anyway, Joe, who's your winner?
My winner is Liam Cohen, Trevor Lawrence, and Gladstone, the 12-year-old GM for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They went out, they made a huge move, and they landed Travis Hunter, who is just immediately going to come in and he's going to sell jerseys. He's going to be the face of your franchise. Take some of the pressure off of Trevor Lawrence from being the face of the franchise. You get a wide receiver who I would argue is the most talented wide receiver in the draft. You get a guy that can play defense and fill in there, but they also got Caleb Ransaw in the third round because they don't have a second round pick. He can be a cornerback. They signed Jordan Lewis, who can be a cornerback. They really shored up the defensive backfield, which is a problem. So I think that Travis Hunter can really showcase his skills on offense, which is great for fantasy. They shored up the line with Wyatt Millam, who we had as a first-round pick at one point, or a suggested first-round pick, coming out of West Virginia. And then you get Bashal Tootin and you get LaQuint Allen, who are both – LaQuint Allen's a fantastic pass catcher, and Bashal Tootin is fast as hell in this draft. So watch out, Travis Etienne. God, I'm getting him confused already because Trevor's in the league now. But watch out him. Watch out Tank Bigsby. I think that this helped Trevor Lawrence out a ton because you had De'Ami Brown before. We know BTJ is awesome, but Gabe Davis is not it. So you got a real wide receiver, 2 for this team. It's exciting as hell to watch. Good job.
I actually had this in a slightly different category. While it is good for the team, I think that, or really for the owner, I should say, they're going to sell jerseys and they'll be maybe slightly better. I don't think this moves the needle. You just traded your first round pick away for next year. That's going to hurt next year. You got BTJ owners are really struggling at this moment. I mean, you're not excited about this. There's another guy out there to draw some of the coverage. It's these 2 guys now, and who knows if Travis Hunter supplants him. Like, I honestly kind of hated it for all BTJ stocks. Fortunately, don't have any, so not really a problem for me. But yeah, I don't love this for the Jaguars. I mean, yes, you got another receiver for Trevor Lawrence, which you needed to, but you paid a lot to do so, and I think that's going to hurt in the long run.
If you know someone's going to be a Pro Bowl player, you pay a lot to get him. I mean, there's no way he does not make it to Canton if he stays healthy.
Think about all the times when multiple first-round picks were traded for players, especially defensive players, which Travis Hunter may very well end up at the end of his career or early on in his career if they don't want to do the whole offense-defensive thing. Jamal Adams, yeah, sure. I don't think that really worked out. Jalen Ramsey, yeah, sure. They got a Super Bowl, but it wasn't strictly because of Jalen Ramsey. But they're still paying for it right now with all their lack of picks. It kind of hurts when you lose a lot of first round picks. The Bears fucking 6 years ago. I mean, it's not great when you trade out and get rid of first round picks, especially if you're a team that's not going to officially be in that playoff team. So that's going to most likely end up being a 15th pick or top 15 pick, just given away to Cleveland. It hurts.
I don't know if I would rule them out of the playoffs. The AFC sucks, man. Like, there's like 3 good teams, and then the rest of them are kind of all fighting to be mediocre. And so I wouldn't rule them out, but I understand
Trevor
what
Lawrence
you're saying.
might not be it at this point. Like, this is the last chance for sure, but
it honestly could end up working out perfect for them if they're bad this year, because they won't have a pick. That's not a strong quarterback class. I don't care what anybody else says. Don't listen to them. It's not a strong quarterback class next year. But in 2027, if they're actually bad next season, then they'll, have that pick in 2027 where they pick a quarterback that's actually going to be good and start for them.
This is just putting all your eggs in one basket is my problem, and that's what's hurting.
Yeah, I guess I understand it from their perspective because they're getting 2 players instead of 1, right? I mean, we don't know exactly how this is going to work because, I mean, Gary Davenport was very like, hell no, this isn't going to work. He's only going to play one side of the ball. I think there's a case to be made that he could play wide receiver 85% of the time and then cornerback like 15% of the time. Like, maybe they have him in there on special packages and coverages on defense.
Oh, like Hail Mary packages, 100% going to be in there, clearly.
But for sure.
I think any kind of like quarter spies situation where they're just putting a guy back. But I'm just curious to know how much he actually plays on whichever side of the ball, whichever is less. So it's going to be very curious, and I love it for fantasy perspective, obviously. I mean, this is going to be amazing to watch, the Sohei Ohtani of the NFL. I want to see what happens here. It's going to be interesting.
fantasy is probably what the biggest winner here is Travis Hunter. I mean, in non-IDP leagues, I'm a little concerned about what that is going to look like just because we don't even know what he's going to do just yet. But if you're in an IDP league, I mean, it's a slam dunk.
You know who really lost at this, Travis Hunter being drafted, is fantasy managers everywhere because they all have to make that decision of what to do, especially in IDP. I guess really just IDP leagues is how do you count this? Because in our league, you can't be putting Travis Hunter in at the safety spot, which usually gets 3 points or 4 points. So we'll have to have that discussion. I'm sure Davis will weigh in. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll hear about it. But
you've called Davis out twice on this pod.
Oh yeah,
really did.
Tell us how you really feel.
Still mad about Taj Brooks.
Finishing your point, though, Joe, about the Jaguars, Bashal Tutin is a huge winner here because I think he has a chance to be a starter by the end of the season. If they're actually as bad as we are projecting them to be, they could definitely be testing out and see like what they have in Tutin if the team's not going as well as they thought. I definitely don't think they're going to do Travis Etienne again, sadly. I think after announcing they're not picking up his 5th year. They also announced they're not picking up Devin Lloyd's 5th year option, that one's even more of a head scratcher to me because I'm like, he's pretty darn good. I mean, he's not Olakun, but you don't need him to be because you have Olakun. But whatever, that's a whole other defensive topic.
They did draft 2 linebackers too.
They did, but I don't know that they necessarily needed that. I mean, Devin Lloyd's good. He's going to be good for another team. I think they're going to look back and feel dumb about that. But yeah, Tutin, I'm interested to see where he goes in redraft leagues because I think he should be taken at the end of drafts just to stash on the bench because I think he's going to be seeing the field eventually.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be a waiver wire pickup that'll win a league.
Yeah, for sure.
Just to kind of piggyback on this, my next winner was actually the Cleveland Browns for getting that first round pick, but also kind of low key killing it in this draft. Started off with defensive players, which were
on all aspects except for one. There's one aspect of this draft where they failed miserably, but 100%. The rest of it, yes, you're correct.
Can I get there?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're calling them a winner, and I'm just like, well, kinda.
I count them as a winner in this one because they started out with defense, which I think everyone was expecting them to go offense first. Obviously Travis Hunter was projected to be there, which I don't know, count that offense defense. And then Mason Graham and Schlesinger, I think, are both phenomenal additions to this defense. It's already really good. So they didn't really need that. I feel like that was kind of like almost a gratuitous pick for them. But then they went out and got Judkins. Then they got Harold Fannin, which I don't know much about, but I assume it'll be a good depth filling, especially behind Njoku, maybe a predecessor situation. Dylan Sampson, which kind of kills the fantasy stock of Judkins. But at the same time, Judkins is going to be number 1. Sampson's going to be number 2. And then they go out and get 2 quarterbacks, Dylan Gabriel and then Shadur finally with their last pick in the 5th round, which good for them for not wasting a high pick on him. Don't have to pay him 5 years. They don't have to deal with any of the bullshit. I mean, honestly, I think they actually
you have to deal with the bullshit.
Well, 100%. I meant it's
they
easy
are
to,
winners
it's
in this
easy.
draft, but they're almost a loser because they just brought the fucking circus to town.
Okay, their team is a circus. That's why they're low-key winners for this. You just brought in more attention. This is Johnny Manziel all over again, which is fine. It's
not fine.
Do they have their
Was that fine?
in the future? Absolutely not. But is this going to help them at the moment put butts in seats and win money or make money and sell jerseys and all the crap that comes along with that? Yes, 100%. I think they are winners in this draft. I understand that what comes with Shadur, and I understand that he's probably not even going to be that great of a quarterback, but at some point he's going to start this year. It's going to bring in revenue for the team, and they also have 2 first-round picks next year. So worst comes to worst, they can revisit this well next year if they need to.
Okay, I agree with your future point with them having picks in the future. The problem is, and you're not scratching off another loser for me from this draft, but you have a head coach who wanted a specific quarterback and went and got Dylan Gabriel, and then you had an owner read Trump's tweet and decide, I need to go get Shadur Sanders, and now you've got those 2 competing bases where you still have Deshaun Watson on the team. Now they can IR him, which I think is the plan. You have Kenny Pickett on the team who you traded for from the Eagles. And then you brought in old-ass Joe Flacco, who's definitely going to be on the team as like a mentor to whoever quarterback they're going to go into the season with, which, by the way, they're probably only going to have 3 quarterbacks going into the season. So that's either Pickett, Gabriel, or Sanders that's getting cut from those 3. What the fuck are you guys doing? This is insanity. Like, why not go into a draft with one specific vision with what we're doing for the team instead of this all-around circus? Like, this is a nightmare for them, to be honest. And I don't see why Stefanski would stay here. If I was Stefanski, this would be my last season for them. I would get the fuck out of there.
Taking this job.
I wouldn't either, but I'm assuming when he got there with Baker and Odell and the vaunted defense he had, he was just like, we could probably make this work. And Chubb, like, yeah, we could probably win something with this. But now they have stripped down this team to where it's just a shit show. And I don't know. I mean, I think I hope they get Hard Knocks. I really do, because the quarterback battle makes no sense. No sense, because they can't cut Deshaun. They have to keep him. They might IR him, but if they don't IR him, that's another quarterback they have on the roster that they can't actually use and they can't cut. So I don't know, man. This was weird. This was a weird draft. I'll go weird. I won't go bad.
Because I put the Browns as winners originally, and then the fact with the Shedeur thing, I was like, no, they're actually losers. Because here's the thing. Flacco looked really good with Stefanski. I understand he's 40 years old, but he looked pretty good. He's probably going to be the starter going into the season. It gives you the best chance to win football games, which is what they're trying to do. Dion already came out and said Shedeur doesn't take a back seat to anybody. So the whole time you're going to have this pressure coming from the back end from all this nonsense, and every casual fucking fan in the United States that watch one Colorado game and knows Prime, and they're going to be like, get Shedeur in there. And then if he starts, it's not going to be pretty at all, because he's a rookie. He's not the most polished rookie, and he's coming
dump off specialist.
And the hate is going to be off the charts from Cleveland fans, but everyone else is going to, and Prime's going to be out there defending him. It is going to be an absolute nightmare. So the Cleveland Browns,
you guys act like this team. You guys, I'm sorry, Joe, I don't mean to cut you off, but like, you guys act like this team was fixable. It was not fixable.
This draft, it was fixable. With the draft that they had outside,
well, they started out strong.
He's not your quarterback. Every single player is an immediate impact player and was an A+ grade. I mean, Harold Fannin, awesome against Njoku. You got Quinshon Judkins, who's a fucking stud. You pair him up with Dylan Sampson. You still have Jerome Ford there. It was killer. And you get Mason Graham to put next to Myles Garrett. It's awesome. But then as soon as
first four picks were awesome. First four picks were awesome.
You know why the Eagles are so good is because there's never any fucking bullshit drama. But
there already was drama. This team already has drama. It's not like you just added to it. You didn't create drama. You didn't bring in drama. You already had it. It already is drama. At this point, get every quarterback on there and figure out which one can actually win you football games. I love it. I love everything about it. I know nothing about Dylan Gabriel. I can't honestly say that was a good pick or a bad pick.
He's a short left-handed quarterback that's probably not going to pan out. Why take him in the third round? I'm a little shocked to see that.
Getting Shedeur in the fifth at this point is like, hey, man, listen, we got you on the team. We're going to cut you if you're a dick. You know what I mean? Like, it's what it's going to have to be. We have our own problems as the problem. And so Joe Flacco could start the whole year and be fine and probably take this team to the playoffs. I think this team could be a playoff team if all things went right. They won't. Because
when the fucking president is tweeting
the AFC sucks,
that you need to start Shedeur, that's going to be a problem.
I was gonna say, you literally just said the Jaguars.
The AFC sucks. No, you're correct. The AFC does suck. There's a lot of teams that could make it this year.
This might be the best defense in the AFC. So,
well, okay, a little strong, but yeah, okay.
Did you watch them win them football games last year? All right, anyway, that's fine. Anyway, we don't have to agree.
No, I didn't. They were picking 2 overall. I didn't see them win football games for them. No, I'm rejecting that. Or they got picked 5. Sorry, they were picked 2. I didn't see them win a bunch of football games. But whatever.
I didn't say a bunch. I never said a bunch. I would never have done that.
So, like, to say all that, in the way that they are winners is like Quinshon Judkins is a hell of a pick, and I think they're going to make him the bell cow with Sampson being kind of like that really good number 2. This does mean that Nick Chubb's done. He's not coming back to the Browns as we kind of suspected he might. This pick, no, he's going to be the 2 there.
I hated Dylan Sampson going here.
He's a good He's a good running back, and it kind of killed the value a little bit. But for them, they get 2 really good running backs. But I think it'll be Judkins, and then Fannin. I mean, if they don't want to keep Njoku through, well, I mean, they need 2 tight ends anyway, so it's good for fantasy. Didn't love the quarterback part because Shedeur's probably the best one on this team by the it's all said and done. But it's just, can they manage the other parts of it, I guess.
would have loved to see them get a wide receiver in this room, but at the same time, Judy and Tillman can do some work. So
they can grab one next year, although next year's wide receiver class not great. Anyway, whatever. That's next year. My next winner is RJ Harvey. Boys, we have a new Denver running back, and he's looking like he's going to be running almost unopposed. Like, there is some guys there overall. Like, we have the random McLaughlin and whoever else that they put behind them. Estime, yeah. But it looks like this is probably going to be Harvey's backfield right out of the jump here. I'm pretty excited for them in the long run, and I think that he's draftable in all formats. 100%. Second round pick. He's got an unabated shot at the number one spot on the running backs. I think we're going to see him definitely drafted in redraft leagues. And if you get him in Dynasty, you've got a guy that may be starting here for a while.
And for as much fucking hate as Javonte Williams got last year, the dude had 52 receptions. So if you get RJ Harvey, who is an absolute stud, if you get him 52 receptions, Sean Payton's always been top 5 in running back receptions throughout his career. It's just absolutely killer. I'm so happy for RJ Harvey here.
Yeah, I'm honestly stoked about this. It didn't matter who landed here, but RJ Harvey did. So therefore, it's going to be good.
Yeah, excited for him. I just had a one-off. I don't have a team. Losers, I have a lot of teams, but
just on that same topic, not to just spitball, but Kaleb Johnson, kind of a winner there as well. Didn't know what was going to end up flopping to the Steelers. Thought they might go after Amarion Hampton in the first round. Was not the case. Could be pretty amazing here with Kaleb Johnson. I mean, it's basically just taking over the Najee role, but could do it better potentially. So looking forward to seeing what that brings. Jaylen Warren is still in the room, so it will be a bit of a split here. But at the same time, I don't think it's a scary split by any means. And Kaleb Johnson is also draftable in all formats as well. So looking forward to seeing what happens there, especially in redraft, because I know he's going to be going super low.
Excited for Kaleb. So I have a one-off winner or two here. Well, it's kind of a team, but it's JJ McCarthy. The dude has not even played a snap in the NFL here. And the Vikings go out in free agency. They get Fries. They get Kelly. They build up this entire team. They get Rondale Moore for some reason. I mean, you have Naylor there. You have Jefferson. You have Addison. You have Hawkinson. They go get Jordan Mason. And then their first pick is Donovan Jackson to shore up that line. And then their second pick in the draft is Ty Felton for another wide receiver in this room. JJ McCarthy arguably has the best team ever for a rookie to walk into who has not played a snap in the NFL. It is absolutely insane.
Yeah, I'm honestly I thought about putting Minnesota in winners and losers in different capacities, but I don't know how to feel about JJ McCarthy. I want to see it happen. You know what I mean? I feel like Vikings fans are going to hype it up all ridiculously. Sam Darnold obviously did it fine last year and utilized the receiving core really well. So JJ McCarthy has, more than likely the talent to do at least what Sam Darnold did, but at the same time, they want to win. So I was kind of shocked they didn't go after a quarterback, not a high one, but at least someone behind him. I know they technically got Sam Howell back there. Yeah, but that's not a winning strategy.
Here's the thing. It doesn't matter what quarterback is playing for the Minnesota Vikings. Kevin O'Connell has the best system in football for quarterbacks. And Sam Darnold, I'm sorry, Seahawks fans, is going to fall flat on his face in Seattle because he does not have Kevin O'Connell.
Well, I've been trying to tell you Sam Darnold's trash booty cheeks this whole time, but that's fine.
Yeah, it's going to be something. Yeah, no, that's a good pick. Actually, I have a winner that's also from a established veteran. It's Breece Hall. So they kind of made it seem like they were either going to trade Breece Hall or they were going to bring in another running back and potentially run a committee. Didn't draft a single running back on the team. So all of that was just a bunch of smoke that we all kind of. I don't think none of us on this podcast truly believed that they were going to do this to Breece Hall, but it's a huge win for him that they didn't. So I actually think that that's a big boost for him. I don't think it's going to be a committee with the guys that are there. I was a little scared that they were going to bring in somebody that's good like Judkins or Henderson or something like that. And it was going to be just a mess, but they didn't do it. So big winner, Breece Hall. I mean, the fears were kind of overblown.
Yeah, I mean they already invested in the running back position last year multiple times. So Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis, who both are pretty decent running backs. So I don't know if it's all clear at the moment because I don't know what this team looks like. But it was nice to see Judkins or not having Judkins or someone big join there because that would have been a little rough. But yeah, I
It's
mean
my
it would
fear.
have been weird.
Scared
It
about
would
a
have been
little
weird
bit.
if they would have done that. I'm glad they did not. But also, they did boost that offensive line. They boosted the tight end. So giving some more blockers for Breece as well. So definitely would call him a winner for sure.
Yeah, and the fears on Breece are still out there. Everyone somehow thinks that Isaiah Davis and Braylon Allen are just going to run Breece off the field
Ridiculous.
somehow. I like Davis, and I can see the use for Allen with Aaron Glenn's what he brings from the Lions. But no, people are still scared of Breece. Go trade for him right now. You won't be upset.
Yeah. I mean, his value might be slightly higher, but
Joe got him for the 105. That is, I mean, that's a little crazy, but
that's true. That is kind
I
of
would make
crazy,
that
but
trade any day.
Well, the first offer he sent me was Bowers and the 105 for Breece, and then I said no, and then he just said 105 for Breece.
Really dropped off a cliff after that, but interesting.
It's like you're not getting the top 8 dynasty asset and the 105 for Breece. I'm sorry, it's not happening.
You got to try to sell high though first, right? You know, want to get into some losers because there's a lot of losers.
Yeah, I just have one more minor winner that we'll say. Bryce Young. I think that he came out of this looking really good. He has Tet McMillan there, which is another weapon. They needed a 1. Hopefully, Tet McMillan can be that 1 for him. And I think that Bryce Young is going to be very draftable. I'm going to be interested to see where we do when we do our rankings rumble for this season to see where we rank Bryce Young among quarterbacks because there's an argument he should be in the top 12. I mean, you could definitely make the argument. Not good, not a good argument. You can make the argument though.
I just love that I was chastised last year for saying what if Bryce Young can be good, and you literally were like, he's just a Kyler Murray who can't run or something.
Well, we still need to see if he can actually be good in games that matter. That's the actual issue, but we'll see.
After seeing that last 6-7 games where they were competing
when they were already out of the playoffs,
yeah. But I mean, at the same time, they're still NFL games. I mean, they still count as NFL games.
They count for fantasy, but we need to see.
Still counts for NFL as well. That was still his record.
Well, okay, so if you had drafted him in fantasy to be your starter last season, you'd lost the season by the time he started being good at the end.
He was a starter in fantasy.
No, I'm just saying it wouldn't have mattered that he was good at the end of the season. You already lost everything. It's good in DFS though, I guess. That's true.
No. I just can't believe they got Trevor Etienne also. I mean,
yeah.
How many nails do you have to put into my Chuba Hubbard breakout take?
I think he's safe.
He's safe, man. I'm more upset about Jordan Brooks. I feel really bad for Jordan Brooks.
This is not good for him. No. I would say.
No.
Which is sad. I have him drafted a lot of places, and
back-to-back ACLs is no good. Also, Jimmy Horn. Another little fun late flyer I'm gonna take right now. We don't know what Leggett is. Everybody, the hype about Jalen Coker is just ridiculous. He was just part of that Bryce run at the end because there were no viable targets. Thielen's there, sure, but how long do we have for wheels on that? Right now, it's been fine. He's been killing it for years and years and years. But Jimmy Horn has a chance to slot in as a starter at some point, and I don't know what that looks like. He's not, he doesn't flash off the page right away, but could have a role. So just interesting little dynasty sleeper for you.
Yeah, I just like JT Sanders too, because I mean, we know what he was coming out of Texas, and he did pretty good last year with the time given. If you get Leggett and Tet on the outside, and he gets kind of free reign in the middle, I like that too.
Yeah, would love to see. Would love to see something happen with Jatavian.
All right, do you guys want to get into some losers? I've got quite a few, so
yeah.
But luckily, we've already talked about a couple, so that kind of marked off my list a little bit.
I want to start.
Kick it off. Okay.
Yep. Everyone who thought Emeka Egbuka was going to be a great pick, really feeling like for the Devy community, probably not great for them right now, because if you had him on your team thinking, oh, this landing spot's going to be great, he's the top 2 wide receiver in the draft, top 3 if you count Travis Hunter. He's now on one of the biggest committee wide receivers that you'll see. Jalen McMillan did have a good year last year, but that was also with injuries to the team. It's pretty much Godwin and Mike Evans, and then a bunch of dregs. And Sterling Shepard is still there. Baker loves him. I don't know. This is going to be a tough slot for him. I don't think there's really any fantasy value whatsoever this year, barring an injury. And it kind of kills everything. Unless Mike Evans walks next year, I don't really recommend drafting Egbuka, honestly. Pretty big loser in my eyes.
Now, McMillan's a loser. I'm with you here that this year the value's not there, but McMillan's the loser. Egbuka is talented as hell. And you have Chris Godwin, who has fought injuries his entire career, and Mike Evans, who's 32 years old and had a couple of hammies back in the day. So I love the opportunity to get Egbuka, especially with him dropping down boards right now. I think he's a fantastic candidate because Baker can totally keep 3 wide receivers relevant. And Jalen McMillan, Sterling Shepard, I love Egbuka. He's so talented, dude.
I got to be honest with you, though, but you're drafting him as a first-round talent, and you're not getting anything this year.
Well, I mean, if you're drafting him, you're probably won your league or were in contention to win your league, so you don't need him necessarily to be a starter this year. If you can get him at that 12 spot, 11 spot, I love it.
In Dynasty, he's a solid pick because one, if either Chris Godwin or Mike Evans is going to be gone here in the next year or so. I mean, they can't last forever, unfortunately. But for this year, yeah, it's not great. And my boy Jalen McMillan, RIP, man. It was a hell of a run. Hell of a run. I mean, he'll still have a couple of pop weeks, and those pop weeks will be exciting, but it'll be on the bench. It'll be on the bench.
Will get as well. I don't think you're ever going to be like starting Egbuka or starting McMillan or starting any of these other guys that isn't Chris Godwin or Mike Evans.
Yeah,
or who's the worst? Egbuka does do some damage and it's consistent and it's 9 points a week and you're still not starting him. And then you're just cutting into Mike Evans and Chris Godwin stock. I mean, fantasy receivers, I mean, I assume Evans and Godwin will be fine, but just fantasy receivers in Tampa Bay it's not pretty.
I'm guessing they're just like thinking of the future here, but I'm just like, man, like I'm not saying they have a Super Bowl window, but like there is a window to be really, really good right now. And they're just like, I don't know. I don't know if a wide receiver was the missing piece, but we talked about that on the draft show when it happened. I also want to get into my first loser, which is also a wide receiver room. It's the fucking Packers. Like they take their first round wide receiver in Matthew Golden, who we were all excited about. Like we were like, man, he lands in Seattle or he lands in blah 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 Cowboys, anything. Like we're like, okay, this is gonna be awesome. Like I love this pick. And then he ends up at the Packers. And everybody's like, well, there's your wide receiver 1. They finally drafted a wide receiver 1. Is he though? Because we not really thought he was going to be a wide receiver 1. He kind of is inflicted with exactly what's going on in that Packer wide receiver room where it's all a bunch of guys looking at somebody else to be the one when everybody's a number 2. And I think Golden is just piling on to the wide receiver 2s in that room. It's going to be a couple of good games here and there. I don't doubt that. But I don't trust Jordan Love to make him a wide receiver 1. I mean, I think like Dontavian Wicks, you could probably cut him. I don't think he's going to be back in the starting lineup.
Or you're not.
But even like
the Wicks thing again.
Oh no, but like even like Dubs, like I don't think he's rosterable almost. Like you can put him on the bench, but
because Jordan Love loves him. The connection between those two is sick. So
if he loved him, Joe, he would be better than he is. They can love each other and be like friends and play Call of Duty and stuff on their off nights. They don't have to be, necessarily friends on the field because he would be the wide receiver 1. And then Christian Watson, who's chronically injured, still injured apparently, that might not even play at the beginning of this season.
He won't play this year.
So I just don't know.
Fun fact about that was Christian Watson's family was trash talking this pick on Twitter after it happened, which, you're not going to play this year, but like, why is your family out there? I say trash talking, but they were basically essentially saying that they're grabbing another wide receiver and blah, blah, and Christian Watson's still relevant on this team and yada, yada. And it's like, no, they drafted your replacement. This is your replacement. Sorry, bud. Like that's more than likely what's happening.
There's not much going on in North Dakota. So
yeah, Golden and Reed are going to be fun to watch. But fantasy-wise, it's going to hurt. It's going to be like Reed last year where you had one huge game where he had 2 rushing touchdowns, a pop pass, and a catch for 40 yards, and it was fun. And Matthew Golden's going to have 1 deep ball for a touchdown. You're going to start him the next week. He's going to have 3 catches for 6 yards. And you're just going to be like, what do we do with this? The worst part about the Packers being losers here is they went out and got another wide receiver two rounds later, Saquon Williams, who is apparently like a Cordell Patterson type player. So, like, Is that going to hurt Josh Jacobs? Is there anyone rosterable?
Hopefully, he's just going to be a kick returner. That's all I'm hoping they drafted him for.
His hands are literally bricks.
Fourth round.
But we'll see.
He's got brick hands. Mr. Balloon hands.
They're me. It's a good reference. But yeah, I don't know what the Packers are doing. I'm not pumped for this. Anyone who drafted them in your dynasty drafts already, or if you're going to, just be forewarned. Ruger mentions in the chat, plus Musgrave and Tucker. Yeah, I mean, there's that nightmare too. If we don't even know who the starter is, tight end room. It was Kraft last season, but it could easily be Musgrave this season. That wouldn't shock me in the least. Well, I hope so, Joe. We thought it was Musgrave 2 years ago.
This, honestly,
I think the Packers are not in a good spot.
Tucker Kraft is
other than Josh Jacobs,
the only other startable person outside of Josh Jacobs and Jordan Love, just because as a low end tight end, he can be valuable. As a wide receiver 2 that you're hoping for from Jaden Reed or Matthew Golden, I don't think you're getting it. Not consistently enough. It's going to be, if the best case scenario for Golden is Amari Cooper like 6 years ago, where he's going to either get 30 or 0. And it's like, that's a dangerous game to play in fantasy, especially in those midweeks when you're needing a win. So I don't know. I'm hoping it's better than that, but it's fun for the team. It was good for the team. I mean, it's just terrible for fantasy wide receivers.
Terrible.
Yeah.
But to say he's a wide receiver 1 when he is essentially a wide receiver 2 is just funny. It's just filling in the hole that Christian Watson left behind, basically.
By the way, go trade for Marshawn Lloyd, because people have completely considered him dead.
Yes, he is. He's a backup running back.
Yeah, because Josh Jacobs plays one half of football every game. And then
they'll still use Emmanuel Wilson and Chris Brooks. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I don't think they will. All right, my loser is the Cincinnati Bengals. You did everything you needed to do. You had to get T. Higgins signed for this offense. But what did you do during this draft? You got Shamar Stewart, who has a fucking rod in his leg and had, 1.5 sacks his entire career in college? I know that's a deflated number. I'm just kidding. You get Demetrius Knight, who's going to be 25 years old by the time the season happens. He's fine. Yep. I mean, he's a good player. And then who the hell are the rest of these guys that you get? I like the Taj Brooks pick.
Taj Brooks actually had a great career, personally.
I like Taj Brooks.
You said who the hell are these other guys as I'm reading their names?
Taj Brooks is great. It's crazy. But you might lose Trey Hendrickson. I mean, he might not play. You might get traded. Sam Hubbard just fucking retired from your team. You got rid of Davius Gaither. You got Pratt and Wilson there, who have had injury problems on their own. What the hell? You have to have a defense in the National Football League. I mean, how many times do we see the Bengals take the Ravens into overtime for the Ravens to kick their fucking ass last year? And now you have a worse defense? How many times do you score 40 fucking points and end up losing the game because there is no defense on this field? Cincinnati, are you listening to me?
They tried to.
How did they fucking try? They
I didn't say they did a good job.
Well, it's kind of like the Bucks. The Bucks also are in the same situation where it's like your defense is ass. So what do you do? Go draft a wide receiver. But yeah, no, Joe, you're dead on here with the Bengals, man. Like, they did not make their team better. I don't know how Joe Burrow is going to make it through this season. He's going to be frustrated. He's going to score 45 points, which is good for him on the stat sheet, but he's going to lose by, 10 points on top of that. It's going to be 55-45. I mean, it's just sad times. No, Joe, you're dead on there. All right, can I go next, Josh? My loser is one of our oldest friends. We thought when he landed here that he was going to be in good shape, but then Jim Harbaugh, that son of a bitch, he had different plans. Najee Harris, big loser here. Like, we were really hoping that this season was going to be another year for him to supplant and potentially be the future for the running back for the Chargers. And then they went and got Omarion Hampton. And now I don't know what to make of either guy, because you would think in your head, well, okay, but Najee Harris is still going to get his 1,000 yards and they're going to use Omarion Hampton sparingly. They drafted him in the first round. Hell no, they're not going to use him sparingly. He's going to be in there just as much. So now I don't even know who to draft. Plus, they just signed, they didn't sign, but they put the restricted rights on J.K. Dobbins. So even he could be back on this team, which just further adds shit to this confusing pile of shit. I don't know what to make of this team. Najee Harris, I am so sorry that this happened to you because Pittsburgh did it to you with Warren, and now this is almost worse because Hampton's the kid of the future here.
Yeah, honestly, this goes along with all of one of my next topics, which I'm just going to go ahead and rattle off. Is what's going on is I think a big chunk of the losers is rookie running backs. We had 10 viable rookie running backs who, if landing in a nice standpoint, like if Travion Henderson landed on the Cowboys, he's taking that job immediately, and he's the number one. He didn't. He landed with the Patriots, and now he's going to be fighting for Stevenson, who just signed a massive deal as well, who's going to be there for the next 2 years at the very least. So Travion kind of hate the landing spot. We kind of already touched on Judkins. We have Judkins and Sampson in one spot. I kind of hate that. Like, I hate that both of those had to go to one. You got Hampton landing with Najee Harris, probably one of the better situations, at least for Hampton's sake. Sucks for Najee, obviously. RJ Harvey and Kaleb Johnson are probably like the two that actually got lucky and went to the right places, or at least the places that immediately need someone. But Cam Scatabo went to the Giants, which he actually could be fine because they're definitely a completely different category of Tracy and him, but kind of sucks for Tracy as well. And then Tuttle sitting behind two different running back. I really one because I'm sorry, I don't think he's really sitting behind Tanks Bigsby at this point. I think it's his job. Jaden Blue sitting behind Sanders and Javonte. Yeah, that's only for 1 year, but it's still for this year. Devin Neal going to the Saints and sitting behind Kamara. Like, it sucks to see some of these landing spots out there. So I think just rookie running backs in general. It happens every year, but it just pisses me off every time during the draft. Like, I remember seeing Neal get drafted by the Saints, and I was like, God damn it. Like, what are they doing? Sorry, Rue. 100%. Kamara's gone.
Devin Neal will be the RB1 next year.
You won't be able
Dynasty-wise, good, but kind of hope he's going to end up on
I'm talking about for this year, though. Like, rookie running landing spots just sucked, like, all around.
I think overall, a lot of these rookies absolutely tanked. Not only are the rookies in bad spots, but they absolutely tanked our hopefuls for Dynasty in a lot of situations. I'm in a startup draft now, and there's like, oh, shit, I really like this guy. And I'm like, oh, they signed someone here. So, pretty stupid.
I mean, you still draft them, and you're still hopeful that you can get something out of this year, but it's more than likely, like, most of these guys are going to have better next years at this point. Like, we're looking at has to be an injury for them to really get on the playing field. So,
yeah.
Speaking of rookie running backs that are losers,
okay,
Ashton Jeanty is a loser in my opinion.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Joe!
He wouldn't have been if he was on the Bears, though. I bet.
Okay, Joe,
do you want to listen to me?
State your case.
Rattle your shit off here. Of all the teams that could have drafted Ashton Jeanty in the top 10 here, he goes to the Raiders, who historically suck ass. They're horrible, but they have a horrible line. They have a very average line. They have Colton Miller, Dylan Partham, Powers Johnson, Alex Kappa, DJ Glaze. Probably should be on a stage somewhere and not playing fantasy football or playing football at all. Ashton Jeanty is going to be the highlight of this offense that has nothing else on it. Geno Smith, fine, whatever. Brock Bowers is fantastic. Jacoby Myers is not a wide receiver one. All of the attention is going to be on Ashton Jeanty, and he's not going to put up the stats that he could really put up if he would have gone to any of the other teams in the first round. Cleveland, Jacksonville, probably the fucking Jets, the Bears, the Saints, any of these teams would have been awesome for him. He wins in his landing spot because it's all about him, but he loses because in fantasy, he's not going to score you as much points as he could have scored you if he went to a better team.
So why though, Joe? Why would that happen? Why do you think he won't score as many points as he would with any other team? Like you're saying the line, he just played behind Boise State's O-line. Not exactly, the guys that are going to be first round talent. So why is it going to be worse? Like what is it going to be bad? I don't get that.
Because everyone's going to focus on him in the National Football League. Not even just college. But here's the thing. If he would have gone to other teams, he would have scored more points, is what I am saying.
See, that's such a good thing to say because it's never going to be proven at all. I have to 100% wholeheartedly disagree. This is exactly what Jeanty needed and what the Raiders needed. It worked out for both sides, in my opinion, because Now Jeanty gets to go out there and do exactly what he was doing for Boise State, propping up the team.
Yeah, so they can
selling
finish
jerseys.
last in the division yet again because
Well, yeah,
adding a
this
running
team's
back
a
is not
rebuild.
going to change their team.
Jeanty was never going to – he went number 6 overall. He was never going to a team who's going to the Super Bowl this year. I mean, this is a long-term process. They need a quarterback. They need a wide receiver. They need plenty on offense and defense. But at the end of the day, this is the perfect landing spot for Jeanty because there is no competition. Imagine Jeanty getting drafted by the Jaguars or something. And you got Etienne there. You got, Tank Bigsby or whatever. Or maybe they go grab Tutton too. Like, this is perfect. There's no one to touch him. He's going to go off. He's going to be drafted way too early in redraft, as per always for the highly touted rookie running back. But he's going to be just as good, if not better, than some of these rookies that have come in his rookie year. I mean, Bijan did not have a great rookie year to start out with. I mean, it was fine, but it wasn't.
No, Bijan's the perfect example here. That's what I'm saying is everyone's going to draft Jeanty way too fucking high.
100%.
Yeah. Bijan's fine now because they did a lot of work on that team. I'm not saying Ashton Jeanty is going to have a bad career. I'm saying his landing spot for this year is bad.
Bijan came in at the end of the rebuild. Jeanty's coming in at the beginning of the rebuild. Well, that's not smart because running backs don't have longevity. They're going to have to rebuild in a hurry, whether it's at the trade deadline this year / draft next year. But next year, they're going to have to field the team if they want to be competitive, which I'm assuming Tom Brady wants to be competitive. I know he doesn't own the team, but minor owner. So I think some of this is just like you ate a warhead after the draft and you just had that little extra sour taste in your mouth because the Bears didn't get them. So
I am
sorry, Joe.
I am. I'm manifesting this.
It was those anchovies
from Jeanty.
That's what it was. The saltiness from those anchovies. Yeah, I'm not worried. Saquon Barkley went to the Giants 2 overall. The team was ass, and he had a historic rookie season. So not worried about Ashton Jeanty at all here. But fair enough, Joe. Fair enough. I hear your case. I just don't know if I believe it. I will be drafting him high in mine depending on where I draft. If I draft in the back half, I'll gladly take him. If I'm drafting 2 or 3 overall,
you know he's not making it to the back half.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying that's where I would feel comfortable. But
back half's fine. You know he's going top 5, 100%.
Oh, for sure. Well, I sent you that thing about the early rankings. It was a nightmare. All right, my next loser kinda is the Washington Commanders because they didn't really make their team better, but they also didn't have a ton of picks to make. We kind of hoped they were going to take a running back. They did technically take one at the end of the draft in Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. Don't think he's even going to be a factor on this team at all. We were kind of hoping they would take a wide receiver because we were like, Debo's good, but there's a reason that San Francisco is letting him walk for nothing. They added Jalen Lane in the 4th round, who I don't really necessarily think he's a great wide receiver, so I don't really know if that's going to help them out a whole lot. I guess I was just hoping for more for them and hoping more from like fantasy relevance from this team, but I guess we're going to go into this next season with the same kind of jumbled mess that we had going into last season.
They added Debo, so I mean they did add something at least.
Yeah, but I mean, if he's not working out in San Francisco and they don't believe in him, I feel like letting him go was kind of a sign.
To be fair, that whole team fell apart. You can't blame it all on Debo. Well, while Debo should have showed out and been something.
Yeah, well, I mean, Debo was a part of the problem, I think, of why it kind of collapsed. But at the same time, again, I don't know. This team didn't really get better, and that's what kind of sucks because, like, they did make it to the NFC Championship game. So, I mean, that's on me because, like, they did do it. I don't know. I guess I was just expecting more, and for me, that is a loser because I was expecting more and was a little disappointed in the draft.
I actually am interested in this Ja'Cory Krosky guy as a taxi squad guy. Like, I'm not saying he's going to start or anything, but Chris Rodriguez and Jeremy McNichols and Eckler, all of their jobs are at stake. And if Ja'Cory goes out there and has a killer training camp, then all of a sudden there might be something there. I don't know exactly what it is. He's not a highly touted guy, but we've seen this happen before, right? Like, not everyone is a number 1 draft pick. Not everyone is Ashton Jeanty, where they're going to be the number 1 running back.
Well, round 7s usually don't work out. There's been a couple.
100%.
Like Pacheco, he worked out. Chris Carson, he worked out.
We know that they're pissed off at Eckler for dropping the fumble that basically lost their chance to go to the Super Bowl. We know they don't believe in Chris Rodriguez or Jeremy McNichols. And we all know, all 3 of us at least know, that Brian Robinson is not it. So at some point or another, they're going to have to look within to start. And then, if that's not the case, then look outward. So just curious. I mean, he might not even make the team, honestly, but I'm curious about that pick just because any running back that was this team, I was going to have on my roster one way or another.
I think he'd be a good goal line guy. Like if you're on the one, give it to him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
I don't know. I was just hoping there would be some clarity from this draft about what we should do, but I guess we're just going to go into this with, the same usual suspects. I don't know where to draft Debo yet. I still need to do my rankings to figure that out, but I don't know still what to do with the running backs really because I can't really trust any of them.
I want to get out one slight loser that I was talking about or thinking about, but I didn't write down was the Kansas City Chiefs. Not only did they lose the Super Bowl, but they also just got vaulted up one pick to say, hey, do you want to trade back to the 32 slot? I know you like drafting there, so let me just go ahead and throw you the 32 for the 31, and we'll just go ahead and give you that because I know you like to feel special and draft last in the first round. They really had a good draft.
Was that all you had for that?
Yeah,
was just
they got
oh my god,
it was fantastic.
It was just a little subtle, just Super Bowl flex. They did draft at that spot 2 years in a row, so they got to do it 3 years in a row. It felt good for them, I'm sure.
Okay, fair enough. Joe, you got a loser because I got one ready to go too.
Well, we touched on it, and I think it's going to lead into yours. Dak Prescott was my loser, but I'm going to change it up and say everyone in the NFC North outside of Chicago because Caleb Williams is a
now we're in the Homer part of the podcast. Draft. What is this?
I forgot to talk about Caleb Williams up at the top here. So let's just talk about how Minnesota is going to start a guy who's never had a snap in the NFL. They got a solid team. Jordan Love regressed and they did nothing to help him out. They got Matthew Golden, whatever. And then the Lions, you lost Ben Johnson. What the hell are you guys even trying to do right now? This is Chicago's division right now in Caleb Williams. Got the best wide receiver and the best tight end in this draft. Thank you and good night.
Just real quick, because you flexed on the Packers. Do you remember Jordan Love made it to the playoffs, right?
I don't care. That's fine.
Did the Bears?
I don't.
Yes, next year's their year. Apparently,
I hope Philly sucks so fucking bad this year for no reason. I cannot wait.
Hey, we did it. We did it. After, the Super Bowl slump's a real thing. It sucked in 2019. We had the exact same team essentially, and it just didn't work. So, I will say props to Howie for drafting or being able to navigate this weird offseason where we lost a lot of players. So,
Jesus Christ. Okay, well now that we're done with Homer Corner, my next loser is Tyler Warren. Not because they didn't need him, but because the quarterbacks on that team suck. So people are going to be drafting him high this year thinking that here we go again. This is our next rookie tight end that's going to be, big bad wolf on the block. We got Brock Bowers 1 year. We had, I can't remember the dude from Detroit. I've already forgot his name.
Laporta. Wow.
Yeah, Laporta. Yeah. Time happens. But now you've got the first tight end taken, so clearly this is going to be a good guy, right?
The first tight end taken. Mr. Loveland went first.
Oh, well, that's true. Well, that's even more of a nightmare, but we can get to that in a little bit.
No,
it's
not.
Is he going to be good this year, Joe, or next year?
No. Actually, I want to interrupt you because I already did. I actually do think Loveland pick, looking back on it now, was actually the right move.
I think it's good for the team. I don't think it's good for fantasy. That's what I'm talking about.
I do at some point. I don't know if right now, but you're saying.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Anyway, Tyler Warren stuck with Anthony Richardson or potentially Indiana Jones. One of those two guys, I don't want either guy to be good. So, or Riley Leonard, who they drafted from Notre Dame, who I think is a little bit of a hybrid of both of them, but not in a good way. I guess he's got kind of mid talents of both. But yeah, I don't want Tyler Warren on my fantasy football team, and I'm just letting everyone else out there know that this is not a year that you take the tight end that was drafted.
I wholeheartedly disagree, actually. I think Tyler Warren's going to be just fine. I know this team sucks and it's a nightmare for quarterbacks, but Brock Bowers didn't play with a good quarterback either his rookie year. I mean, he played with some jumbled up messes and ended up being the focal point of the offense. And the Colts don't really have a wide receiver one. I don't care. I always wanted it to be Pittman, and he would be if we had a normal quarterback, but we don't have a normal quarterback on this team. So therefore, there is no number one target. You know who would be the number one target? The guy who's standing 5 yards out and that's Tyler Warren, because everyone else is going to be running deep routes, and Tyler Warren's just going to be doing this little hitch route, just standing 5 yards from.
Well,
Anthony
if Richardson can learn to throw it short, then we might be cooking here.
I think
but
Richardson can actually throw 5 yards if he
might
actually
be cooking
here.
here.
Don't see it often.
That's a Shane Steichen problem, by the way, if that's the case. If he
by
still
the
hasn't
way,
figured out how to throw it 5 yards after all these years.
Pittman still had 800 yards with a broken fucking vertebrae last year.
I love Pittman. It's not his fault. This quarterback situation is the problem.
He's such a good steal right now.
Which is why I don't want Warren. I'm good. Good until they figure out a quarterback. Eventually he'll be good, but in redraft, I'm staying as far away as possible.
Just on, since we're already on the topic, Anthony Richardson starts the year probably, I assume. That's what you guys think. Yep. When do they make the switch to Daniel Jones?
I mean, if they are losing games, like if they're like 3-2, I don't think they make the switch. Well, if they start out 0-5, then probably by week 6 I'll be certain. But if they start out 3-2, then it's probably not till week. I don't think because I don't think they're going to be that bad. I don't think they make the switch. I think they can see what they got in them this year.
Joe?
I agree with Billy. I think that they invested that 4th pick in him, and they are trying their best not to look like idiots. So as long as they are close, yeah. But if they are 0-5, it's going to be Daniel Jones.
Week 7, 100% making the switch to Daniel Jones, and then it's just the same thing. And it's going to be hilarious.
So they're 3-4. You think they're making the switch?
They're not going to be 3-4. Anthony Richardson.
They're going to be 2-5.
Something like that, yeah.
I don't think they made the switch if they're 2-5. I think they're like, you know what, we can figure this out. I will say Shane Steichen needs to be in trouble.
Week 7, Daniel Jones starts, so 1-5, 2-4, whatever you want to choose. At that point, it's shit or get off the pot.
I think maybe if it's 1-5, maybe they do it. If they're 0-6, for sure do it. And if they're 2-4, probably not. Personally.
And it's to
because they needed a QB too, and that's just who they went with. I think
it's to actually bring as a competition to Anthony Richardson.
If you're starting Daniel Jones, you're not starting a good quarterback. I think we learned that the hard way with the Giants.
Exactly the point. They brought him in to say, "Look, I have the exact same guy in white version, and I will put him in." And so it's like, Anthony, go play football, or we're fucking picking. We're picking him, Daniel Jones.
I don't know that Archie Manning playing for the Colts would be real interesting.
That would be pretty cool.
If he's coming out, maybe they just decide all of a sudden, you know what, we're going to go into next season.
I don't think it's going to look pretty for you.
No, definitely not. Anyway, I'm not taking Tyler Warren this year. No, thank you.
I will. Thank you. That is all.
What round? Are you taking him as your starting tight end?
Are you talking about in redraft?
In redraft, yeah.
Oh, 8th round, 9th round.
8th round, you're taking Tyler Warren?
That's about where I'd draft him, yeah. I've drafted,
we need a fireball
3 running backs, 3 wide receivers, a quarterback, tight ends. Seems about right. Maybe I got 4 running backs or 4
I don't know what the fireball bet is, but we need to do one for this.
Where I'll draft him at?
No. Where he ends up. Because you're saying he's going to be in the 80s as far as how he's going to end up, like overall.
Will be higher or lower?
Lower? Way lower. Yeah, way lower.
Tyler Warren in redraft. No, people are going to be super hyped on him. If anything, he's going to go way too high, and I'll never get a chance to draft him.
No. I'm saying where he finishes the season. Like, overall players, he will not return 8th round value. I'm saying that he's probably going to be on the waiver wire by week 3 or 4 because he's not going to be good enough.
That's fine. I'll do whatever. We'll just know. We'll just know. 8th round.
We'll know. I guess I'll write that down.
Right, we'll know. 8th round.
We'll know.
It's kind of a fucked up year for tight ends, to be completely honest with you.
Joe, where are you taking Warren? 8th round?
No. I mean, hell, dude, you might.
He would be my backup if I was going to take him. He would just be my backup.
Ideally, he'd be your backup. But I'm looking at these tight ends right now, and I'm like, okay, you got Bowers, Kittle, Laporta, McBride, Hawkinson. Fine. I like Jonnu. And then you get into Mark Andrews, which should be fine. And you have Tucker Kraft, Colston Loveland, Njoku, with who the hell's throwing him the ball. We love Evan Ingram. Kelsey's 48 years old. You might have to take him in the top 10, dude.
Dude, remember
I'm just saying, if you're starting Warren, you're not winning a season. I'll just say that.
He would ideally
be. If Warren is your starter tight end, you lost the season.
I don't know about that, man. I'm always down to take a flyer on tight ends. But my thing is Remember last year when we thought tight ends were like at this elite premium, and you were like, dude, you don't need to draft one early anymore. We got so many of them, and then like it just fell off a cliff again. Like the tight end
Absolutely
position
fell
is
off a
just
cliff.
destined to
Well,
only have 5 good ones.
I don't know what happened. They were like, Laporta who? We don't use him anymore. They drafted all these good tight ends that were like, okay, they should be in and get in and slot right away and start working. They're like, no, we'll use Zach Ertz. Why use Ben Sinnott? We'll just do Zach Ertz.
Zach Ertz
It's like,
been
okay.
phenomenal.
Well, yeah, but nobody drafted him like he was going to be that guy. Like we were like, oh, they're going to make a transition at some point. And it's like, nope, it's Zach Ertz. And it's like, oh, shit, everybody's on the waiver.
I started Zach Ertz all year.
Well, yeah, okay, this is, I guess, Homer Corner after the hour
I know
mark.
Zach Ertz is good. Everyone hates Zach Ertz. He was literally a top 5 tight end his entire career.
We did think that, I mean, maybe not you because you took him in the 15th round. You were like, you know what, got something here.
I have Sinnott in the league. I believe in successors for sure, but it wasn't yet.
Well, fair enough. But, I mean, nobody took Ertz in their drafts. Like, many of the drafts I was in, he did not get drafted. Our draft at the Lake, he didn't get drafted.
That's because I had McBride. I didn't need him.
Dude, looking at the tight end list right now really hurts right now.
Yeah, considering there's all these new talents and like these still existing elite talents. Good news for Kittle is he just had a big old contract though. What was he 4 years?
Yeah, I mean Kittle's fine, but I think you have to leave your draft with. I mean, Jonnu would probably be the last. Well, Evan Ingram.
I don't even count Jonnu at this point.
Okay, well, I would say like you got Mark Andrews and Likely kind of doing whatever. You got Njoku, no one knows who he's throwing to, and you got Fan in there. Colston, Loveland, and Kmet.
I don't understand why
Ingram
Colston
being
Loveland
30
is up there.
Kincaid, Pitts, Ertz is fine. Likely, Freiermuth's going to be a stud at his price point. He's tied at 19 right now. He finishes tied at 9.
Should be good
if they get a quarterback. I mean, I don't know. This might be. I might have to agree with Josh on this one.
We used to think that last year we thought we could wait, and there's other options, and there will be. I mean, obviously there will be someone who has a breakout. Like Kincaid might come back and actually have a really good year this year.
I mean, okay, so I don't disagree that he's going to end up with 600 yards and 4 touchdowns. Like, yeah, that's a hell of a season, I guess, for him. But like, no, that's not going to win anybody a fantasy season. You might as well punt on the position, I guess, if you're ending up that.
Who? Are you talking about Kincaid?
No, talking about Warren.
Oh, you're still on Warren. Okay, got it.
We're talking about the draft. Sorry, guys. I forgot that we switched to our redraft rankings.
It's an hour, 20 minutes in. If you think we're not going to go a little bit sidetracked, that's kind of on you.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, I don't know. I just if you're taking Warren, you're not planning on winning this year, but I appreciate the thought.
Okay, man. I mean, we already made the fireball bet on it. I don't know what you're trying to convince me to like.
I'm talking to the audience. I'm not talking to you. Saying in general, if you end up with Warren,
you notice
probably not your year.
Didn't get angry in this podcast. I don't know what happened.
No, I mean, if we started shit talking some things, then maybe, but nothing shit talk.
One thing we do need to touch on because Joe never did get his love out of the way. I know he's got one more. Kaleb won because he got a new wide receiver and a new tight end and offensive line. And look at that smile. He's like happy. He's got hope. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. I'm giving up on hope.
No, it was a great draft for them.
No, I kind of touched on it because I said the losers were the rest of the NFC North outside of Kaleb.
Oh, gotcha. That's fair. You did do that. Yeah, no, like we said during the live draft, we were like, man, Loveland seems weird. Like, why not go Warren? But honestly, the more and more I look at it, the more and more I like it because he can be a blocker. He can be more. He doesn't have to just be that kind of gadget player like Warren is, which I think that's great as well in its own sense. But the Loveland pick, although being picked before Warren seemed weird at the time, I kind of love it now, especially with the Luther Burden pick afterwards, which that wide receiver core is starting to be one of the top 3 guys out there. It's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out. I don't know who I want on that team, which is wild.
I'm going to feel so dumb when Burden is Amon-Ra in 3 years and someone got him in the second round of a rookie draft.
Yeah, he did slip for sure. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with the spread and if this just ends up being the Green Bay Packers 2.0 and all of a sudden all 3 of them are like kind of not fantasy relevant because he spreads it out too much.
It's possible.
But Kaleb seems
hopefully
like
hopefully he makes them all good. Like that would be most ideal situation
100%
for them. the Bears. All right, I got 2 more losers if you all want.
Go ahead, I'm done. Technically, we touched on a bunch of mine during the winter, so.
Okay, just 2 more. One is the wide receiver room for the Buffalo Bills. Now, while the guys themselves, I guess, are technical winners because they didn't actually address the position, but as an overall unit, that's got to be one of the worst wide receiver rooms in the NFL. Like, I'm sorry. Like, Josh Palmer, I guess the tight ends, I don't know if that's
they got Elijah Moore today.
Yeah, they did, Joe. They got Elijah Moore today. But I know Josh Allen doesn't need it. He can do it with whoever. But, like, if you're drafting one of these guys, don't think you can have high hopes. And I was kind of hoping they would take a receiver to where we could maybe be, like, put our hopes in that. But, like, I'm not going to take Keon Coleman. I don't feel good about that.
I was just about to say, I think the winner actually is Keon Coleman to give him
probably is
actually be that guy if it does need to be.
There's a large contingency of the Keon Coleman bounce back, which could absolutely happen. He's the only one that is not the same person on this team, and you cannot convince me otherwise. Like, it's just clones of 4-yard receivers.
Khalil Shakir is kind of the deep ball, turned into the deep ball threat a little bit, so.
Yeah, but they want him crossing over the middle. I don't know. Like, I know the Bills are sick of being clowned by KC every year. I get it, but, like, you're not doing yourselves any favors, man. If this is the wide receiver room that you're rolling out, I would not call that a winner.
I just wasn't impressed by their draft really at all. I mean, they got some good defensive players. Cool. No offense whatsoever. Like, an offensive tackle in the 6th round.
Other than the wide receiver at the end. But
a tight end, sorry. I guess they got another tight end for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. And it just doesn't make any sense. I don't hate their defensive picks because they do need a better defense, but the offense probably needed a little bit of help. I know we were all thinking a running back was going to end up here. And that didn't happen.
Dude, I would have been happy if they grabbed an offensive tackle or offensive guard in the 2nd or 3rd round and just been like, hey, just in case, let's protect Josh Allen. You know what I mean? Or let's make our run game good. Like, they didn't even do that. They grabbed one in the 7th round, like 6th round. And then, a wide receiver in the 7th. That didn't do anything. That didn't move the needle for Josh Allen. You're basically running out the same offense plus, Josh Palmer and now Elijah Moore? Oh, and Chenault, don't forget.
Yeah, it's... Yeah. Not exactly a room.
It has me excited for Amari Cooper. It has me excited for Amari Cooper because they could not figure out how to use him at all.
If they sign him back, I guess.
No. I'm saying.
You're saying you're glad that he's out of here.
You're getting such a good discount on Amari Cooper because he was ass last year with the Bills, but the Bills don't know how to use wide receivers. So wherever he goes, if he goes back to Dallas and you're getting him in the 6th round, he's going to be a fucking league winner. That's all I'm saying.
I agree completely there. Okay, well, this whole conversation, we're going to pick this up and just move it one other team over, and that's the Baltimore Ravens, who also didn't address their wide receiver room at all. I get it that they have DeAndre Hopkins or the ghost of DeAndre Hopkins out there. I appreciate that for them. But Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman. Now, I'm a personal Rashad Bateman believer. I said he was a guy that you should buy now. I guess I had thought that maybe they were going to do something about this in the draft, a little something to make this team a little bit better. But it's another team where it's like, you guys didn't really get better on offense. I'm sorry. I know that you added more defensive pieces, and we're all happy that you did that. But the offense, a little odd for Lamar.
I actually don't think they really. I understand where you're coming from. It would have been nice to see them add a wide receiver in the room, but at the same time, you said it yourself. This wasn't really a strong receiver class, so to go and pick someone high, it'd be different if they picked someone stupid with their first 2 picks. But their first 2 picks were stellar. Mike Green at the back half of the 2nd round, or the back end of the 2nd round, and then Malachi Starks in the 1st. I actually really like what they
even did. Emory Jones is pretty good. But
yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, their picks were great, and they clearly were like, let's just make this defense awesome. And their defense has always been one of those like pretty good ones, and I think this could take it not over the top, but I mean, you got Roquan, you got Egbuka, and Nate Wiggins, and now Starks in that slotting in there with Humphrey. I mean, Kyle Hamilton. I mean, this secondary might be the best in the league. I mean, this is going to be super fun to see in the future. It would have been nice to see them get a wide receiver. I mean, yes, I agree, but at the same time, like, they got time for that.
So the problem I have though is that if you're not going to address it in the draft, it doesn't bother me. Do something about it in the offseason before that. Like, I know that now maybe you just wanted to see what was going to happen in the draft, and now it's like, okay, well, we didn't really do anything, so let's go figure it out now. But, like, if you didn't address it in the draft, now whatever team you're trading with is kind of like, oh, you need a wide receiver? Well, let's jack that price up because if you're
I
wanting
bet
them, then
Jahan Dotson is on the block right now for these teams that we're mentioning. Like, I bet
probably.
Jahan Dotson is just like, hey, you guys want him? You can have him.
Yeah, and I mean, they could always – Amari Cooper's about out to pasture, so they could go grab him. I mean, they
do love themselves some old people.
They do like an old guy that's about to be on his way out of the league in Baltimore, so maybe that's the direction they're going.
I always root for the Ravens, man. This team is so fun to watch. I mean, Lamar is amazing, obviously, but just the rest of this team in general, the defense is fun to watch. Their offense. Zay Flowers is great. I think that's a wide receiver 2, if we were being honest. Hopkins is a wide receiver 2 at this point, and Bateman is probably at least in the category of 2, but I'd say 3. So it is weird that there's no wide receiver 1 on this team. But at the same time, this isn't a traditional team. And you got Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. You have receivers that aren't receivers. So I don't hate this draft. I think they did what they wanted to do. They made their defense better to stop KC. Their offense was fine. That wasn't the problem.
Well, you say that, and then they can't win in the playoffs. Like, I don't know. There is something wrong with this offense.
Fault. When you've given up 30 points to the Chiefs in the playoffs, that's the problem. 30 or to the Bills. Sorry, I don't know if they put the Chiefs.
I mean, fair. I don't think their defense is a weakness on this team.
Didn't Likely drop that ball in the end zone too, or was it Mark Andrews?
It was Mark Andrews. It was Mark Andrews. He messed up twice. But they've apparently forgiven him because we thought that he might be traded during the draft, and he was not.
Well, they didn't get a wide receiver, so I think his job is safe for the moment.
Yeah, honestly, like I can just say it. I think the AFC is just a bunch of losers in general. Like KC, if that's your best team and they just got annihilated, I still think there's like 2 or 3 other NFC teams that would have beaten the Chiefs in the Super Bowl if the Eagles didn't get there.
The Chiefs had no
like the Lions. The Lions could have done it.
Yeah, it should have been the Bills or the Ravens or someone, not the Chiefs. The Chiefs never, and unfortunately, this is what's going to happen again this year. They're going to walk their way through the AFC teams and end up with a high record and probably get number 1 seed or at least number 2 seed next year. They're probably not going to deserve it. Mahomes hasn't looked the same. Kelsey's a shadow of himself, and then the receiver room is actually pretty good if they could all be there playing. And then the running back room's fine, but their defense is pretty mid to say the least, as you saw in the Super Bowl. It just got walked over.
Yeah.
But it's sad to see the Chiefs just walk into the first seed. Although there is a little bit of ref gate going on there because there were a lot of games that were won at the last minute for no reason. And you saw refs actually got fired for this. So at what point does that collusion start questioning it, man? Like, was Alex Jones right? Did he put a coin in the jar?
Okay, I will say that Rashee Rice is the Chiefs' offense. His position and the role he plays in that offense is what they do to win games. It used to be Kelsey. It's now Rashee Rice. And if he is healthy and back on the field, I think that's going to be the best team that they can field because that little fucking 8 receptions for 100 yards and a touchdown is so mean because he runs the same route every time and you can't stop him. So if they get Rice back, I think they'll be okay.
Is Rice the one with legal troubles?
Yes.
Well, yeah. It just keeps getting pushed back, and now he had the injury, and if he's healthy, he's fine.
No, I'm saying, but is he going to have any legal issues to start this season? I feel like that was supposed to be pushed back before.
He punched a cameraman, and he wrecked a car and ran away, which there has been no litigation on.
Within like a month, dude. Like it was.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'm Googling currently. Is Matt Nagy still the coach? Yeah, he's still the offensive coordinator of the Chiefs. I guess we'll see.
I take back what I just said.
I was about to say, he's been there for 2 years. It's been 2 of the worst years they've had on offense, so he's still the offensive coordinator.
I'll never forget his little play call sheet that just said BU on it. That was fucking cute, Nagy, you bitch.
Patrick Mahomes is itching to get the explosive pass game back 7 days ago.
Well, they have a literal arm in a sling at offensive coordinator who's never going to allow that to happen.
I mean, I'm glad they brought Hollywood back. I think that Rashee Rice, Worthy, and Hollywood are, the same guy, for one. But those are three great receivers.
Rice is more of a possession guy. He can actually work there. It's Hollywood and Worthy that are a little redundant.
Well, I think Hollywood's your deep guy, and then Worthy's like your gadget jet sweep / take a 10-yard pass and turn it to the house type guy. So,
dude, garbage time though, he was cooking the Eagles, man. When they gave up and put the second string in, woo, that man was cooking.
I love how Twitter was like, "Man, Worthy's really the real deal," and I'm like,
right,
get some backups preseason.
Everybody's already like had some champagne on the sideline.
They were just trying to look for any silver lining.
I
get it. I would have been pretty fucking bummed too. I mean, there's a video of the Chiefs watch party where Devontae Smith catches the dagger, and just the silence in there is deafening.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
I watched that when I'm having a bad day. It was a little rainy today, so I popped it on.
Well, why not? Honestly, the game wasn't very good. Like, it was a blowout pretty much from the jump. I mean, as an Eagles fan, that was probably a lot of fun. But I'm saying as a watching experience, as a fan who doesn't care all that much, it was a little devastating. Especially if you had Chiefs fans around you. They were bummers because the game was over.
She goes, "Don't you want it to be close?" And I was like, "Absolutely not. This is perfect."
No, belt to ass. That is exactly what we want here. All right. Do we have any more losers, or are we going to get out?
I covered it, man. That's pretty good. That's pretty comprehensive.
I do think we literally touched on every single team in the NFL, which who knew? Maybe we didn't touch on like Seattle, but I mean, I don't really have that much to say about them.
I do actually.
In
I have
general.
a lot to say about them.
About Seattle? Oh, just because you don't like Sam Darnold. I just meant for the draft wise.
No, I have a lot to say about Seattle in general.
Okay.
Just not right now. We'll get there. We got a long offseason.
Fair enough. Thanks for your cryptic Seattle thoughts that we'll get to eventually. All right. Next week, we're going to do a little rookie ranking situation just in case you are doing your drafts coming up. I know a lot of people have already jumped in their drafts, so a little behind there, but a lot of people do wait until June, and some people, like Joe's Psycho League, wait all the way till August, which I think is nuts for a rookie draft. It is bonkers that people wait that long to do rookie drafts, but whatever. I get it. It could happen. So next week we're going to do a little ranking situation just based on what we think the situations that everyone's in. Just kind of give our thoughts there. And then after that, we're almost back to redraft season, boys. It's coming right around the corner.
Looking forward to it.
Favorite time of year.
Favorite time of the year.
Okay. Yeah. Joe, get us out of here.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you for watching the IDP Plus YouTube network. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Be sure to tap the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload new content.
All right, I have a question, Josh. So